I want that all sorts of discrimination against women shall come to a halt.
Far too many countries still don't have legislation on violence against women. We need legislation. Ensuring legislation, enacting legislation is taking a huge step towards ending and preventing violence against women and girls.
The biggest challenge is the change of mindset. Unless the mindset is changed, there are challenges and challenges. So there's lack of education. The people who think that this is the patriarchal system, which says that these are the traditions, so one has to go about it. So I consider it two things which as a challenge. Number one, to have the education right from the beginning, and especially the women education. But I believe that more than women, it is the men who has to be taught, that they have to be very, very careful about these things, and they have to consider women as a human being, and they have to see that their rights are actually being given. So for me, the biggest challenge is the change of mindset.
Parliamentarians are the major bridge between the people and the government. Those who need us, that we are there to listen to them. We need to make sure we protect our parliamentary democracies, and protecting our parliamentary democracies means listening to people who need us the most. We have to act as a bridge between the people and the governments, and we have to make sure the women's voices and women's needs reach government, and therefore ensure that the resources are allocated. We need to make sure we pass the necessary legislation to ensure and prevent violence against women.
If all the policymakers, if we believe in a few P's, that is, if the policymakers introduce policies being very progressive, keeping in mind the protection and the preserving the rights of the marginalized and left out women, then we can claim that we are very successful and we are very progressive, and we MPs have done it.
We need to make sure we protect our parliamentary democracies, and protecting our parliamentary democracies means listening to people who need us the most. We have to act as a bridge between the people and the governments, and we have to make sure the women's voices and women's needs reach government, and therefore ensure that the resources are allocated.